that is the first shot in this a week at the allotment, because I decided that it's about time to manicure the allotment, because at the moment it is sort of all the green manure that I've been planting to improve the soil and attract beneficial insects. All the green manure is starting to come to the end of its this season's life. So I thought it was good to have a trim up. So I've basically gone round the wildflower beds and just had a trim of the edges. I've also cut down the lettuce which was growing here. I'm just having another experiment. I've left a bit actually. There we go. I'm doing an experiment again. I really don't want to disturb the soil. I want to do no dig. I want to do regenerative and biodynamic. So I've tried just cutting the stems off, so I leave the roots in for a bit longer. So I've done the lettuce there. Now I did spot the other day some nightshade, and after a bit of research, it's not deadly nightshade, which is good. So I've just gone round and pulled the nightshade up. I had some here. I spotted some over there and over there as well. So the sweetcorn just here is looking ready to harvest. So I'm going to harvest that before I leave today. There you go. I've seen some more nightshade just here. Now, after my research, from what I've seen is, see that there's sort of cluster of berries. Now that shows it's not deadly nightshade. If it was deadly nightshade, for each kind of berry stem there would be just one berry. And we can see, it's sort of in there. Actually, there's more in here as well. You can see the berries just there. Now, research shows that it's fairly common on allotments. I was a bit worried to spot it. Anyway, back to it. So the cabbages, they're looking pretty good. Sweetcorn I'm going to harvest. Some of the Brussels sprouts are looking okay. That one's looking okay. This one's looking a bit smaller. This one is a bit smaller as well. One of them's been eaten. Oh no, this one's looking okay. And this one's a bit eaten. But that is what it is. I've still got the Swiss chard, leaf beet. It's still looking okay actually, a bit mottled, but not too bad. I've got the row of leeks. They're looking okay. They're starting to get bigger. The ones up this end are a bit bigger. So that'll be a winter harvest. Now the potatoes look terrible, but from what I've read, when the leaves die back is the right time to harvest. So I'll be having a go at pulling up one of those plants to see if the potatoes are ready to take out the ground. And then I'm going to, the aim is, as much as what I'm growing as possible, is to save it and eat it through winter, because winter is when our local organic farm stops delivering. So I've built a clamp which is burying potatoes sort of partially underground but wrapped with straw. So I'm going to do the same with these main crop potatoes as well. Now just beneath me here is the kale. Now a few of the plants are doing okay. These ones are doing okay. This one you can see has been really eaten. Now that's a different species, which is interesting. So this one hasn't been eaten, these two here, but this one and this one have. And then these ones here haven't really grown that well, whereas looking down here, these ones are looking okay. So that's interesting. I need to do some research on which species is which, just to consider if it's worth or not worth doing something in the future. You can see this is a spot where all my potatoes were killed by blight, which after listening to the Garden Organic podcast and doing a bit more research, it's been a problem this year. So, but I definitely think I could have done a lot better. I should have pruned the tomatoes a lot to allow a lot more air to circulate. That could have helped to stop the blight taking hold. Next up, we've got the calabrese, so the broccoli. Now, it's looking okay. It's looking a bit eaten, but now I've been really, really very slack the last, good month probably, but I've not been up at all in over a week. And earlier on, we had a problem with caterpillars. Now there's a few here, so they're just underneath. But these calabrese at the end had been eaten about the same as this, so they've not really got any worse, which I'm pretty happy about. In the end, I decided to take off the Enviromesh and just let's see what nature does. I've watered it a couple of times with stinging nettle liquid manure, and that's all I've done. So let's see how we get on. But I'm going to be looking out for the heads forming, and at that point I'm going to be spraying with the biodynamic horn silica preparation. But at the moment I'm okay with that. I'm okay with where we are with that. The rest of this area here is just green manure, and then this patch here, I've got a couple of strips, one there and one just along there, which I'm hoping at some point will be parsnips, but I'm not too sure. I think I might have disturbed the soil when I took out the radishes, which were intersowed. Here's another row here of the lettuces that I've cut off at the ground, again not wanting to disturb the soil, and leaving the roots in just to see if that helps with the soil microlife. And then what else? Yeah, we've got here we go, some of the carrot tops. They look absolutely stunning, the carrot greens at the top. So I'm going to be seeing if I can harvest some of the carrots at some point. Now they're a heritage breed, so that's going to be quite interesting. They're almost like a bit of a tennis ball type shape, a golf ball type shape. So it's going to be interesting when I pull those out. And just here we've got Celeriac, which, looking through the screen, it looks brilliant and green. It is a bit overcast today. Now I can see the Celeriac bulb just at the bottom is starting to swell, which is excellent. And then then I've got a couple of rows just here of onions, which are definitely ready to pull, I would imagine, because the onion green has completely fallen over and sort of biodegraded, which is great. Now this area here is more green manure. This is the strip where I had the Monge 2, but that failed. My fault on that one. And then what else? Oh, the other thing is I've really loaded up the compost heap. I don't know if you can see. Actually, there's a good angle here. My hand's shaking. So you can see the top of the compost heap is a thick row of green. Now, it's important not to do rows that are too thick. It's sort of like layered like a nice sandwich rather than a big load of one type of garden matter. So I've got a layer of a variety of things on there. It's guinea pig hay, poo and wee from the guinea pigs at home. It's the vegetables I've just cut and trimmed. It's the grass. It's the green manure. So it's a really nice mixture that I hope is going to make excellent compost. There is also urine, which I'm no longer embarrassed that we save some urine and pour it on, because it is nitrogen, which is important because we're putting on a lot of hay from the guinea pigs. Hay is not very green, so not much nitrogen, lots of carbon, so we're going to balance that out. And then we can see, sort of comparing the two, this is last year. Now I gave this absolutely no thought, loaded it up with just whatever I had, all the weeds, and that was it. Whereas hopefully this one, I've been considering layers. I've been putting on the biodynamic barrel preparation, the dried one, which again helps microorganisms. I believe it is made with cow manure as a kind of base, but then other things like crushed eggshells, good for calcium, that sort of stuff. And then I've just done a bit of a trimming around the back here, so we've got a good wild bramble patch back there, which has gone quite well, because I haven't been up here for a long time. The brambles had started to grow all the way out the front, which I've cut them back. No, I think I am going to go for it and ask Colin if I can borrow his lawnmower, which I didn't want to do because I want to avoid fossil fuels where possible, but I am thinking that it's a bit too wild, and underneath the apple trees I should have kept all of the perennial grasses and everything cut really well, and I just spotted quite a few apples in this tree that were covered in mould. Here we go, there's another, see if I can get it. Oh, here we go. So yeah, so that's not so good, and I'm wondering if and I'm just going to pop this. I've got a second compost heap around the back here for stuff that I'm not too sure about. Included in that is the Nightshade. See if I can zoom in on that. Yeah, that's the Nightshade is in there, as well as some of the plants that I cleared from home. So yeah, so I'm wondering if, because I've just let it go very wild and overgrown, there's not enough air circulating, and that is affecting the apples on that tree. Although the apples on this tree look okay. I've just spotted one here that's starting to sort of turn, but the rest of them look pretty good. Now this is a tree that I thinned out earlier, and let's pop this. There we go, on the compost heap just there. Yeah, this is the tree I thinned out earlier. I'm pretty happy with how those apples are looking, and ultimately I've used nothing other than person power, i.e. me, with a little bit of help from Emily and Arthur. So one mow a year is not too bad, and I will then rake up all the grass and put that on the compost heap as well. The other thing I spotted, so I moved one of the water butts earlier in the year, and that's filled up nicely, so that's great. I'm really going to work on water storage over winter, because when it's super hot, I really do go through quite a lot of water, and I don't want to be getting it out of the water butts here because they come from the mains. That is chlorinated water, and that will be slowly chlorinating and killing the microorganisms in the soil. The other thing I wanted to show you is that needs a bit of love is the pond. So that's got lots of bits and bobs growing in it, which Emily would know what that is, and I don't, but I do know I need to clear it out. So I'm going to clear that out. Unfortunately, the solar powered fountains, which were doing a really great job, so you got this is a solar panel up here, they've died, unfortunately. On a low cost kit just doesn't last, and it is just landfill, which I hate. So I need to think about that. I don't want to have anything else that's just going to fail after a couple of months. Apart from that, considering I've not been up for a while, it does look like a wasteland, but that was my plan. I wanted it to be as wild as possible. I think I've probably gone a bit too wild for an allotment, so I'm going to bring it back a bit. Next step, I need to just think what to do with the clearing the green manure. I don't just want to cut it down and leave it as a mulch, because that is also not necessarily regenerative, because leaving the green matter on the soil encourages the bacteria to break it down, and then they release carbon dioxide, so that's actually not regenerative. So I need to have a bit of a think of that. I am signed up to the Kiss the Ground soil advocate course, which I'm starting the live cohort at the end of this month, which is something I started. Just take a seat down here. So I started the soil advocate course at the start of the year, and that's really what inspired me to start Nafford Junction, because I just hadn't realised that changing the way we farm and garden is a major way to reverse climate change incredibly quickly and improve the nutritional content of all the food we eat, and reduce the cost, get farmers out of the clutches of the big giant chemical companies that sell chemicals to kill the pests, which forces the farmers to buy seeds from the chemical companies, because only their seeds will grow food that can withstand the chemicals they're spraying on. And the issue is those chemicals aren't an answer. All that happens is nature evolves, and more chemicals need to be used or evolved. So yeah, off on a tangent just there. But yes, I've still got 2 of the regenerative gardening courses to get through with Kiss the Ground. So that's why I'm not entirely sure what to do with the green manure just now. So I'll probably see if I can cover that in the last couple of sessions of the biodynamic gardening course, which I'm just finishing up now with Hans Gunther Kern, a course that is certified by the Biodynamic Association in the UK. So I'm coming to the end of that, and hopefully finishing that course and then getting onto the Kiss the Ground courses will give me the right knowledge of what to do with the allotment over winter, so I come into it really strong next year. I think it's fair to say, having a look around me at the allotment, is that I've probably taken on quite a lot in my first year. It was always a test year. I've had a go at growing things that I'm not really that keen on. Like at home, we've got a row of runner beans. I've enjoyed harvesting them and eating them, but I think the plan next year will be much more about focusing only on the fruit and vegetables that we absolutely love. Understanding more about regenerative farming and biodynamic farming, and give myself a bit more time to manage the allotment, because and probably won't be doing the green manure over the whole of the plot again. I'll be doing much more planned green manure, because I've actually found it's difficult to weed. Well, it's impossible to weed because you've got green manure and weeds growing together. So I'll probably be doing something a lot like Richard Perkins in Sweden at Ridgedale Farm, where his paths are wood chips. One of the issues with wood chips is that they take nitrogen from the soil, but from the videos I've watched of him, he's never had a problem. So I'm going to have a winter to think on that, and I'm going to finish these 2 regenerative gardening courses with Kiss the Ground as well, and the one with Hans Gunther Kern. So that's going to give me the right knowledge, and I'm really looking forward to planning what I'm going to do next year. But for now, the year isn't over. So I'm going to harvest sweetcorn, which I've been looking forward to the most, pretty much. I was very much looking forward to the tomatoes, and pretty upset actually when I had to put them all on the compost heap. But next in line is sweetcorn. We love eating sweetcorn, so it's going to be nice to harvest and eat those quickly, and then get into a bit more planning. So let's see where we go next week. Thanks for watching.